If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
And just like that, we got 2 Game 7s. They happened in different ways. We'll get to talk about how those things happened. But kind of like what we said the other night after we were on, following Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoff matchup between the Stars and the Avalanche, it's a series of momentum. And right now, the momentum's feeling really, really good. The game ends on back-to-back three-quarter ice empty netters. That would be equivalent of having 2 3/4 shots go all the way in for the NBA. And the Colorado Avalanche keep their season alive by winning 7-3.
We're alive. Like I said, it would have been nice to only have one Game 7, but beggars can't be choosers. And the team that we needed to win today won. So I'm gonna complain at one point in the show about the way the Nuggets played today, but I'm not gonna complain that much because, like you said, both teams are alive another day. So I can't be that mad.
When you're in the playoffs, you just got to hope for the next opportunity and take things as they come. We thank everybody for tuning in. Episode 229 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. Jimmy Pilato, Nico Bryant. Make sure you follow at FEOTB Pod on all social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to talk a bunch about the Avalanche and Nuggets. We'll also look at the playoffs surrounding both the NBA and NHL as a whole. We'll save the draft for next week. I mean, I've been super busy with, I don't know if you saw the calendar, but it's May. So it's getting a little bit dicey as a teacher. I'm just meetings, getting tasks done, making sure I got to take all the shit off my walls this year because they're repainting our room. I don't know how many freaking staples and holes I have in that wall. And most of them aren't even mine. So that's going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. So we'll talk about the NFL draft probably next week. You want to go basketball or hockey first? We started hockey first last time, so I'll give you
Let's go with the Nuggets because we didn't come back after Game 5, and I was there in Game 5, and I thought that was a great game for the Nuggets. Obviously tonight wasn't as great, but like I said, look, everybody in this in the entire ESPN pick and everyone on Fox and everybody picked the Nuggets to lose the series, and because of the Clippers were on an 8-game winning streak to end the season. Obviously, one of the hottest teams coming in the playoffs, and the Nuggets obviously took the 3-2 lead and then lost tonight and get to play Game 7 at home. So it's like I said, I can be upset the way they played tonight because luckily I have no free shout outs. I have YouTube TV, so I could cast both of them at the same time. So I had the Avs sound on with the Nugs on the side and just watching the game while I was watching the Avs. And I mean, watching that game, I'll talk about Game 5 first. Like, obviously, there is no better playoff riser in NBA history outside Jamal Murray. That is a fact. Not a single person has a higher points per game average from regular season to postseason than Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has more 40-point games in the NBA playoffs than the likes of Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Kyrie Irving. Like, go down the list of Hall of Famers. He has more 40. He had 6 40-point games in the playoffs. There's very few players that show up like Jamal Murray in the playoffs. And on Tuesday night, after the Nugs won, like, you could see it. You could see it. Like this team is at its best when Jokic is not the main scorer. That's just how it goes. He's not the main scorer. Jokic dropped 13, 12, and 10 in that Game 5, and obviously that's not even a good game for him. That's a bad game in most books for him, and you still win by 20 points, right? You still blow him out by 20 points and have that momentum because Jamal obviously gets hot. AG has a great game. Russ puts up 20 plus. I mean, it's a very, very good run. Don't worry, Rel. Cancun on 3. We got a lot to talk about your fakers. The Los Angeles Fakers. Lakers in 10?
No, it was still 5. Remember, they got eliminated in 5, though. Shannon just got the wrong. He had the
wrong team. He's got. I mean, if you're a Lakers fan, and more specifically Shannon Sharp, you got other problems right now. So I wouldn't even claim him right now. But yeah, that Game 5 was incredible. I obviously being there in person, the building was rocking. I obviously wasn't there for the Game 3 that Atlanta Scott came back, but I've not felt that power in the building since we won, and I didn't feel it last year. I really felt it on Game 5, the momentum swinging. Because like I said, the expectations for this series for the Nuggets are so low, right? You're like it's all kosher, right? What happens from here on out? Everyone's picking the Clippers to beat you. Everybody is.
Everyone's picking the Clippers, and we were talking about it today in school. I asked a couple of the kids that I know are big basketball fans, like, what's OKC going to do to us if we do make it out of this round? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Whatever happens.
Whatever happens. Because I said right now, like, you're walking into the postseason with the worst bench unit of every single playoff team. And I'm including the horrid-ass Miami Heat that lost in their Game 4 at home by 60 points in elimination game, okay? Like, that's how bad this bench is, okay? But people forget, when you have the best player on the floor, you always have a chance. You always have a chance. That's how everything goes, especially in basketball. Maybe not hockey, maybe not all these other things. When you have the best player on the floor, Nikola Jokic, you always have a chance. And like I said, the one thing the Clippers, Kawhi is just so methodical and such a damn good player. It's just so hard to hate on him because, like I said, it's just pure. It's pure basketball. I keep saying it over and over. It's like dribble, pull up, bang. Dribble, pull up, bang. Side shuffle, back you down, fade away, bang. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to guard? Right? It's like Kawhi Leonard is a pure hooper. And then when you have James Harden, who is the absolute worst basketball person to watch, if you ever want to watch basketball in your life, if you have never watched a game of basketball in your life and you're out there to watch one person, for the love of God, never watch a James Harden game, because it is the most bum, just on the post, bang underneath, try to draw a foul, ugly shots, huck threes up, horrible basketball. And tonight, the Clippers really have been getting a lot of production from Zubac. I think Zubac has been incredible. Zubac is one of the most underrated centers in the league. He's been incredible this series so far. I thought Norman Powell was better for them as well. They like, it's a lot of things that the Clippers do well and show that they're depth. Right, they got the Bogdanovich 3 going. They got Derek Jones Jr. in production today. They did all the things right in Game 6. The Nuggets did not. One telling stat that I was looking there in the fourth quarter: points off turnovers. I believe I saw Clippers had Clippers had around 10 turnovers, I think, and had around 30 points off of turnovers. Nuggets had around about the same amount of turnovers. I had about 10 points off turnovers. 20-point difference. And it really just was brutal to watch at the end there because you saw the best punch the Clippers threw there. They're right there in that third quarter. That was the on your back. Are you going to stand up for another half second? What do you got in the tank left?
Get up, Rock.
And we saw it in the third period for the Avs, right? You're on your fucking back. What are you going to do when your back's against the wall? Are you going to go out swinging or you're not? And the Clippers
Get up, you son of a bitch.
The Clippers went out swinging. And like I said, we had our chance at the end of the game. It could have been a 4-point game with 2 minutes left if it wasn't for Russell Westbrook missed layup. Again, it's like feels like I'm talking about this every fucking game. It's very annoying, but at the same time, like the last Game 7 that we played on home court, it did not end very well, and we got trolled for it, and Anthony Edwards happened, and but I will say, like, I have a lot of faith in this team because it's the starting five is still one of the best starting fives in the NBA. I will stand on that, especially in the playoffs, right? You look at starting fives across the Western Conference playoffs, across the Eastern Conference as well. It's like you look at the top five starters. You can't. There's very, very few complete units as well put together as the Denver Nuggets starting five. Right? You have the Jokic facilitating scorer. You have the three-point shooting from Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. You have the hardcore defense and Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown. It's the most perfectly put starting five you could ever put out there. The biggest problem is when you go to the fucking bench. I text you.
It's so bad. Yes, it's so bad.
It's hilarious. I texted you. I was like, Jokic stepped. So the Nuggets were up by 3 points at the end of the first quarter. And Jokic gets his break at the beginning of the second quarter like he usually does. DeAndre Jordan enters the game. Well, within that 4-minute span of
coincides with the Avalanche second period.
Both same time, coincide with one another. Jokic steps out the floor. The Avs let in 2 goals, and the Nuggets are a -8. And I'm just like, this is what am I really?
You run that Serbian bastard into the ground right now. Put him back on the floor.
Really? Are we really fucking doing this to us? Like, this is how we live and die by one man in this city? That's how it goes? Like, really? Oh, it was, I was just like, I was sitting there. I was just like, I can't believe this actually happened. I literally, I actually laughed because we were up 2-0 in the Avs, and I was like, oh, we're looking pretty good. Let's maybe get another one here, try to get going. Jokic comes off the floor, then the Avs forget how to play hockey. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Is Bednar in his ear? Hey, take a step back, guys. Jokic is off the floor for the Nuggets. We got to let them back in the game to get their plus minus back up. It's actually
the aura
hilarious.
is too strong.
And the second,
the aura is so strong it transcends sports.
The funny part was within the first 2 minutes of Jokic stepping back on the floor is when we went up 3-2. It's literally like I can't make this shit up. I really can't. It's hilarious.
They just want to kill us. They want us to have the heart palpitations of Game 7s, not once but twice. It's tough because I guess Denver fans, welcome to a true series playoff experience, because both of the runs that we had with the Nuggets and Avalanche the last 2 times they won were not true playoff runs. This is how playoff runs go. You have games where you come out and you look really, really good. Ergo Saturday night. Ergo most of tonight for the Avalanche, and the Nuggets in Game 5 where I'm looking up and down and everybody's got plus 20 on their plus minus. And then you got games like today and games like Monday where nobody showed up and everybody's a minus on the plus minus column. Now you just got to hope that your best game shows up in Game 7. And the Nuggets are in a much better position than the other team. We're probably going to talk about.
I'm more confident in the Nuggets than I am the Avs, which is it's crazy to say. I'm more
confident. There's a lot of
the
stats
Avs
to bring up when we talk about the Avs.
If we get past both teams get past this round, I'm more confident in the Avs moving forward. But I'm more confident in Game 7 for a couple of reasons. One, obviously the Nuggets home court plays a massive factor. Jimmy, I was there on Tuesday night. I've been to Avs playoffs games, and I'm sorry I'm flexing here. I've been to Avs playoffs games. I've been to Nuggets playoff games. I've been to Broncos playoff games. I've been to Rockies playoff games. I have literally never seen in my life, not seen an opposing fan at a game. I did not see one Clippers fan. I'm not kidding you. From the second I walked into Ball Arena Tuesday night, the second I walked out, I did not see one Clippers jersey. I did not see one Clippers hat, one fan cheering. I didn't see any of that. That may be the first time I've ever seen that. I get it. The wall is cute. It's awesome. Good for you. Got home court. But we got home court for a reason. And I have a lot of faith in this team Game 7 at home. So it's very frustrating, obviously, the way you got in this series. But like if you told me if you told me after we fired Malone that we'd have a lead in this Clippers series, a team that won 8 in a row to end the regular season, and we'd be able to play home court Game 7, I'd say sign me up. I'd say sign me up. I'd be like, let's go. Let's see what the best player in the world is made of. Let's see what the playoff Murray's about. See what Mike, AG, and company and Christian Brown are about. And put the balls in the best player in the world's hands and at home court with your fans behind you. So it's interesting because like I like I said, I have no expectations, but now that I'm in the flow of this, I'm just like, I'm living and dying again by wins and losses. It's like, I had no expectations, but now that I get a little taste of like this team being really good, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again. I'm like, this is setting up for failure again.
Heartbreak is part of the game. Shout out to the Fat Boy Fadeaway. I think this is probably a question on a lot of fans' minds. Are you going to be in building during Game 7?
I'm almost positive I will be. Determined what time the game is because I do have a little kids games during the day. I highly doubt it's during the day, but who knows with the NBA scheduling techniques and how stupid it is. So if it's during the day, I won't be. If it's at night, I will be there. So
Adam Silver's watching this right now going,
hey, also, for the love of God,
during the day.
For the love of God, do not put these two teams on at the same time. I can't. I don't like. It's bad for the city. It's bad for the TV ratings, right? You're alienating the whole fucking fan base. Like, I don't know what the TV numbers for the Nuggets Clippers game, but it's been by far the best first round NBA playoff series we've had, by far and away. And it's just like, why can't we just separate it at least by an hour? Like both
instead
games,
of 10 minutes.
Both games ended within 5 minutes of each other. I'm just like,
I'm thankful for it today. I am thankful for it today.
I mean, it helps, but like you could have at least started one earlier.
I know. I feel you. Then we're definitely more. I feel like we could start in the central time zone and be a little bit better off. Shout out Terrell. He just made his return, dropped another episode over there. So love our big time storyline.
Right in time for that summer break, baby. Cancun. It's time for Cancun.
Speaking of that summer break,
let's get
before we move on to everybody's favorite sport, hockey, because Terrell also wanted to put his 2 cents in there. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs, because we've had the Eastern Conference matchups are already set. So the Eastern Conference semis are there. The Thunder and the Timberwolves move on and are into round 2. Do you want to start with you want to take your victory lap first?
Let's start with the Fakers. Everyone's favorite topic. Everyone's favorite topic, ESPN. What part of LeBron are we stroking off this week? What part of the Lakers are we going to call contenders this week?
I will say the way he opened up and took that pounding from Anthony Edwards, that was impressive.
Fakers. Because they ain't lakes. Because there's no fucking lakes in LA. The Fakers. The biggest, fakest, weakest contenders in NBA history. We have reached a new level of Lakers thought process that has surpassed Cowboys and University of Texas football fans thinking they're back. That is what we have hit with the Los Angeles Lakers. Fakers, excuse me. I'm not calling it the L word anymore. It's the Fakers because they're absolutely fake, right? Everyone thought for whatever reason that this team was good enough to beat Minnesota. No, hold on. They were picking them to win the West. I was told Luka Doncic and LeBron James are going to win the West. They didn't even win one game. Lakers are, Jimmy, 2-12 in their last 14 playoff games. 2-12. But everybody and their mother picked them. Did I miss anything? I said it when we did our previews. I think Minnesota wins this series. I wasn't surprised by the slightest. Anthony Edwards is a dog. And frankly, if he didn't play for Minnesota, he'd be one of my favorite players in the league to watch because of how exciting he is and how much he gets in your face. If he was in the Eastern Conference on fucking Indiana, I'd be a big fan. But the Lakers, and it starts with that management and that horrid-ass golden, that not even gold anymore, that yellow and that hideous purple color. And the team thinking that they're back. You got gifted a star talent. Your head coach, JJ Redick, may be the biggest crybaby from a coaching standpoint in his first year I've ever seen. I don't know. I don't know if we can pull up clips anymore because of all the YouTube shit and everything. So I'll leave that up to you. But JJ Redick literally started and ended his pregame press conference of Game 5 saying with a question, hey, do you plan on playing more players? You know, when Rudy Gobert, 7-foot centers in the middle, gobbling up rebounds. Do you plan on using more of your rotation? Because the only one time in NBA history, playoff history, has a team started 5 players and ended 5 players playing in the second half. Not more than 5 players played. Only time in NBA history. And it happened with JJ Redick. And he got called out for it. And he says, like, are you taunting my morals? Or are you telling me I'm a bad coach? And blah, 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 blah. That is an immature team, an immature coach. And that's why the Los Angeles Fakers are the biggest fake news this side of, in the country. They are, like I said, they are ass. Absolute ass.
I won't pull up the clip, but I have a few of the quotes picked out. Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made, you think I don't talk to my assistants about rotations every single time out? That's a weird assumption.
That's what you say. That's the quote before the game, by the way. He already knew that shit was sailed. He knew that game was over. He said that's over.
And he took the blame directly off of him after the game where he's like, oh, and everybody needs to get in championship shape.
Championship shape, huh? So you want to know what the biggest mistake in LeBron's career ever was going to the Lakers, frankly, because he could have won a lot more championships elsewhere because the Lakers are a shitty-ass franchise if it wasn't for the gift they got in Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson, right? The Lakers are the biggest joke of a franchise right now because everybody thinks they're way better than they are because they're not, right? Remember in, February, March, when they sold their soul to beat us on home court, where JJ Redick stayed up for 48 hours? Remember that? Stayed up for 48 hours. I didn't sleep thinking about this game. I didn't sleep. So they put all their chips in to a game in February. For what? One postseason win?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, hey. Good for you guys. Great job. That's what I'm talking about.
Calm down now.
There we go. Maybe next year you'll get 2 wins, and then you'll be able to double the amount of wins you've had the last 3 postseasons. And maybe you can actually win a series. Oh, great job, Fakers. Doing awesome, man. Biggest joke. Absolute joke.
It's incredible to think like the recency is not good, and people don't like to put that into question. They like to talk about LeBron, but it is crazy the lack of success that they've had.
LeBron, if he went to somewhere else in an Eastern Conference team, he would have had another championship by now. If he never went to the Lakers, he got the biggest bum of a championship in the bubble, the maybe fakest championship ever in the bubble, and Lakers fans are crying about winning a championship off of that. They're crying about it. They're whining and he only won us 1 championship. Oh no, LeBron didn't do enough for us. I'm sorry. Last time I checked, he still won you a championship.
Yeah.
Your team, this team's fake. It's literally the definition of fake. Because frankly, they don't play with heart. They act like Austin Reeves is fucking Larry Bird when he was a no-show in this entire Minnesota series. They act like Rui Hachimura is the next coming of Big Ben Wallace defensively, right? Luka Doncic is a traffic cone defensively. Was Nico Harrison right? The streets are talking. I don't know. The streets are talking. But he's a traffic cone defensively. LeBron would have done much better go staying in Cleveland, doing something else than going to this shitty-ass franchise. Because the Lakers right now are a joke. They're a joke. Because right now everyone thinks that they're contenders. Consistent pretender. 2-12 in the last 3 playoff runs.
Yeah.
2-12. So if you can be like, I'm a Laker hater, this, that, the other thing, the facts speak for itself. 2-12. By the way, 8 of those losses came to the Denver Nuggets. But 2-12, the last 3 playoff series. So congratulations, Lakers. Cancun on 3.
Elsewhere in the playoffs, we had the 2-1 seeds get sweeps. You talked about the Heat getting absolutely killed in their closeout game. Over on the Eastern Conference side, we have in the semifinals Cavs versus Pacers and Knicks versus Celtics. Of those 2 matchups, which one do you think is going to be more entertaining?
I love this Cavs versus Pacers series. If you are a basketball nerd like myself, this Cavs versus Pacers series is going to be fun. Oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. New York barely limped past who did they just Detroit, right? Detroit was a team that was on their first playoff run in 5-6 years. So they barely squeezed by them, and Boston just seems like on a tear again. But Indiana came and schooled Giannis and Milwaukee, and we can talk about that if you want to too, because that was a whole situation with Halliburton's dad that was very interesting. But the Pacers are playing damn good basketball, and the Cavs, man, this Cavs team, our friends in Ohio, man, you got a squad, man. The Cavs are so with this series, it makes it very interesting because I think the Pacers have a little bit more playoff experience because they made the conference finals last year as opposed to Cavs, but the youth is about even. There's not a lot of playoff championship experience between the 2 of these teams, which I think plays a lot into the effect of the Cavs because of how depth they are and how many different ways they can beat you, right?
And they do have players that have experience, like Donovan Mitchell's got.
Donovan Mitchell is obviously the most experienced, but never been to an NBA Finals. Right, the only person with finals experience, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's probably some bench guy off the unit for the Cavs. I'm not thinking of. But this Cavs team, what I saw in Game 4 when they absolutely abominated Miami. Oh my gosh, I was watching. I think I might have been watching an Avs game or something, or one of the Avs playoffs games, and I just scrolled on my ESPN app and went to the NBA games, and I saw a 6-0 point lead for the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 4 in Miami. I was like, what? I'm like, whoa, my gosh. Obviously, Miami has a lot of problems in itself, okay? People at the streets are talking. Jimmy is right. Not I know you. Also, you're always right. But Jimmy Butler was right. People at the streets are talking Miami. But Cleveland is Cleveland is exciting. He is exciting. Yeah, Tristan Thompson may be the most championship experience, but Cleveland is very, very exciting, and Indiana obviously doesn't back down from anybody, let alone Giannis's or Halliburton's dad not backing down from Giannis, which was a story of itself.
Yeah, no, that Giannis, I saw. There's a lot of people already crashing out over it, and I've heard some people go the other way too. People are saying that Adam Silver needs to take a page out of the former commissioner's playbook and force Giannis to go to New York or LA. But I've already seen people crashing out over Giannis being rumored to the fakers, as we've done.
Just real, right, Terrell. I know you're in the chat. Give me a package for Giannis, and that's realistic that the Bucks would say yes to, because there isn't one. There isn't one. So the Lakers, unless you have accumulate 10 first-round picks for the next 20 years, you're not getting Giannis. It's not realistic. The Houston Rockets have a lot of assets they can get, right? Brooklyn Nets have a lot of assets they can get. So the Spurs, I think, that'd be Giannis and Wemby together.
Pairing him with Wemby would be absolutely fucking nightmare material.
That would be. I think that'd be awesome. Pretty awesome. I mean, not awesome for us Nuggets fans, but it'd be a pretty crazy duo in my opinion. They'd have to give up Castle, which obviously won Rookie of the Year this year. So they got some young pieces that they may want to keep or depart with. We'll see about that. But when I saw Halliburton's dad halfway on the floor, I was just thinking in the back of my head, one, how did he get there? Because I've been to so many basketball games at every level, high school, college, NBA, little guys, preschool, like all of that. I've seen old guys. I've watched it all. You have to literally run through like 3 lines of security to make it to the floor. And the second the buzzer hits, his dad just, bye. I'm here. Let me wave my towel. I'm gonna run on the floor. I remember when my dad was able to go on the floor when the Heat won the championship, and obviously we don't talk about that much anymore. But like, I just like remember how difficult it was for my dad to get on the floor, how they roped it off, how they did all that. It's asinine that he thought he could do that, and I give Halliburton, Tyrese, a lot of credit because he called it out right away. He was like, "My dad was in the wrong. Like, you can't be doing that." Can't be doing that. They both apologized to Giannis right away, moved on from man. Luckily, because look, Giannis very could have easily sucker punched the fuck out of him. And everyone would have been like, you know what, you're kind of right. You're not wrong for doing that.
That's
right?
The difference of a guy growing up in Greece and a guy growing up in wherever Meta World Peace is from.
Like he could have easily just said, "You get the fuck out of my face right now, or you're on the."
You're gonna taste these Athenian hands right here. You're gonna.
And luckily, Giannis, the character he has, did not swing on him because obviously he could have been suspended for a long ass time. It could have been bad for next year, and would have been a whole thing. It would have been the number one news source in the world, not just NBA world. It'd be the number one news story in the entire world. And like I said, it's another thing I had on that. It's like obviously he's in the wrong. There's no thing about that. But what the Pacers did, I think, is very interesting because they banned him. They said you can't attend away games or home games, which I think is very, very, very wrong in my opinion in today's world, especially because obviously it's a son, right? Not many people these days get to go out and watch their son play. Right. Some guys grow up without a father. Maybe their father passed away or was not around, or a mother that's not around. They would die and love to have their parents at their game watching. And I think there is a very easy solution was just to kick him up to the fucking suite level and stay as far away from the court as possible.
I was gonna say put him in the nosebleed so that he can't get to the floor.
I mean, Halliburton is the best player on the Pacers. You're telling me that one of the suites there that's owned by the owner can't house his family? I'm sure McAfee has a suite there, right? Why the hell would he just not, hey, jump in McAfee's suite, right? You know what I mean? Like I think that's wrong. So I just had to put that point out there because, like I said, I think taking away a father from watching his son play live in person is just not a good look in general. I understand why, because frankly, if any other fan walked on the floor and did that to Giannis, he would never see a game again. But since it was his dad and it was different circumstances, I think you could have got around it a little bit. But it's such a weird situation.
A little bit different situation player-wise, but yes, the the dads in the NBA have started to become more and more of a. I mean, fuck, LeBron got his son drafted, so dads are hot in the NBA right now.
I will say, man, I'm never going to hate on a dad for being passionate for his son. I know both of our dads are the same way. I'll never hate on that. When you cross the line, that's where things become a problem. But like being passionate for your son, daughter, whatever, in a sporting event, I think is just so important as a father, especially. So I'll never hate him for that. What I will hate him for is getting in an opposing player's face and thinking that's okay, and thinking that, well, if he swings on me, he's going to lose a lot of money and probably get suspended for a lot of games. But because he does that, he wouldn't do that if Giannis could have swung and did nothing to it. If this was the 1950s and Giannis was standing there on the court and Halliburton's dad walks up to him and the TVs turn off the second the game ends, that Jackie Moon style. Somebody hit somebody and fucking wailed on him, all right? That would have happened. But nowadays, they just can't because all the cameras in the world are on them.
Why is Giannis out there throwing bows? Oh, this is turning ugly. Oh, this is getting bad.
And we're going to come back to the game where everybody's lied down on the floor laughing. We have no idea what happened.
Apologies. It's after 9 p.m., so we can show blood on the screen. You're seeing the aftermath of the Milwaukee Melee.
If you don't know the reference I just said from Semi-Pro and you've never seen Semi-Pro, first of all, and you're a basketball fan, you need to watch it right now. Right after the show, please, because it's the best.
Jackie, do you think I could get like a regular check? Like they said I can't cash this one.
Hot dogs, or corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs.
Fucking corn dogs. Let's talk about the Thunder. Is there a way that we can get past them?
I like to be as optimistic as possible. There is only a handful of teams in the NBA that have a 500 or better record over the Thunder, and we're one of them. We split the season series with them 2-2. The problem with us against Oklahoma City is that Oklahoma City's depths will literally run us off the fucking floor. Like when they bring in Caruso, when they bring in Big J Will off the bench, it's going to literally blow us out of the water. It's going to take. I'm not going to say miraculous performance. Games. I'm not going to say perfect games, but it will take Oklahoma City to show the kinks in their armor that they had last year when they faced Dallas. So if you remember in the Western Conference semifinals last year, when Dallas played Oklahoma City in the second round on the opposite side of Denver and Minnesota, Oklahoma City really showed their playoff inexperience. Right, Dallas had been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years before, had some deep playoff runs. Obviously, Luka and Kyrie had big playoff moments for a lot of years in Dallas, and obviously Kyrie in Cleveland too. And Oklahoma City really showed their inconsistency and why they weren't there yet. The difference, however, in that team as opposed to this team is the addition of Isaiah Hartenstein, who obviously is a very, very huge defensive piece in the center, and obviously the addition of Alex Caruso to replace Josh Giddey. Hartenstein doesn't have as much experience as Caruso does, but two guys with playoff experience and big game moments. So that's really helped them take it over the hump.
I'm not giving it a third guy in that commercial.
No, it's Chet Holmgren who's second year guy, and Shea is the two.
But they added a third guy this year with.
Oh, I haven't seen those commercials.
They're not singing anymore, thank God.
Yeah, that commercial last year was on repeat consistently and so annoying. But the thing with Oklahoma City, it's like, can they a week off? They just had a week off. Nuggets are going Game 7, obviously Saturday, right? Oklahoma City finished their series on Sunday? Maybe on Monday, if I remember correctly, one of those 2 days. So they've had a long, long break. That could be to their advantage, could be their disadvantage, especially a team that doesn't have as much playoff experience. They did not get tested against Memphis. They steamrolled Memphis. Memphis had a game where it was a 10-point game and 5-point game at 1 point, but they just kind of steamrolled them and coasted through them, including 4 games. If they get punched in the mouth by Jokic and the Nuggets, or like I said on the flip side, Kawhi Leonard, who has a lot of playoff experience, and James Harden, how will they respond? Right? I think the Nuggets match up way better defensively against the Clippers than they do against the Thunder. I think the Clippers can match up better defensively against the Thunder as opposed to match up with the Nuggets. And that's the whole circle of life here of the Western Conference, where everybody can beat the shit out of everybody. It just makes it so annoying. But I'm not giving a 0% chance because, like I said, always, best player in the world on the floor, you have a chance. But second best player in the world is on the other side, and he has a better team around him. So it's like, it's that toying game. But I'm not even thinking about that. We need to get to Game 7 first.
We'll talk about it as it happens. The games will be on Saturday, so there's a good chance we'll be back live after the games, depending on if Nico's in building or not. That'll also dictate that. But we'll definitely be talking about those games and the rest of the NBA playoffs moving forward. Anything else on the NBA before you switch over to hockey?
I mean, the Fakers are the Fakers. I love a goal. I think Golden State is – Houston gave them a really hard punch in Game 5 at home. I would expect Golden State to win that series. The Eastern Conference – same thing with hockey, Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference didn't really get going until the second round. Like these second rounds Eastern Conference matchups are a lot more juicy as opposed to first round Eastern Conference matchups. In Western Conference, it's just been slugfest after slugfest. And especially with us. It's like we literally – I think we're the only Game 7 unless Houston wins tomorrow night. I think we're the only Game 7. So in the first round of playoffs. So boy, it's been entertaining. I will say it's been very, very entertaining. If you are a fan of like the Atlanta Hawks or a team that has no dog in the race and you just love basketball, I'm sure you're enjoying the hell out of this Nuggets Clippers series. Because I would be if I wouldn't have a horse in the race. No pun intended. Happy Kentucky Derby week.
Yeah, no, Kentucky Derby's this week. Terrell, we appreciate you jumping in the chat. We know it's late out there on the East Coast, and I guess you're not interested in the Capitals run.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, the Fakers are gone too. So hey, start mocking up different offseason scenarios for the Commanders or the R words, the Skins as they call them, because that's the only team you got now. So we'll see.
Moving on, the Avalanche forced Game 7 off the back of a desperate performance and a performance where it seemed like it was great, and then it seemed like, oh shit, I can't believe this is going to happen again. And then the third period happened, and I was like, oh, that's what it feels like to breathe. I can catch my breath again. Avalanche get goals from Valeri Nichushkin twice, Arturi Lehkonen, Martin Necas finally gets on the board, Manson goes empty net from 3/4 of the way down the ice. And then Cale Makar, just as extra salt in the wound, goes from behind his own goal line past two defenders and gets the last little icing on the cake. I thought we were going to see a fight after that, but it didn't happen yet.
Do they assist? Do they put the McKinnon goal for that one that got tipped off a guy, or do they do that like the same way they do soccer, where it says OG and the guy who tipped it in from the opposite team do that?
No, McKinnon got McKinnon has an unassisted
bounce.
Yeah, he did get credited for the unassisted one as well. Yes, he did.
I will say my initial thoughts, a couple things. One, we got the win we needed today. So I can be mad about the Nuggets losing today, but at the same time, we're both alive. So I'm not going to be that upset about the way the Nuggets played today because obviously we have 2 Game 7s coming. But we got the game we needed to, and for Dallas Stars fans that are complaining about that bounce goal off the shoulder and the bounces you got, do you want to watch the replay back of the first period?
Let's go watch Game 5.
You want the first 5 minutes or the first period?
First 9 seconds. 9 seconds was Wyatt Johnston's goal.
And then the goal that bounced off Blackwood's back when he had no idea where the puck went in. You want to talk about lucky bounces and you're crying about that? Just insane. I mean, like I said, I was very frustrated with the lack of urgency defensively. I think that was the biggest problem I had because the Avs were getting. We could have put up 10 goals that game, like with all the empty netters, obviously. But we had 2 or 3 off the pipe alone. That we weren't finishing in that second period.
The space in the offensive zone was such a difference in this game.
It was wild. Because Necas was getting active. Obviously, we saw a lot of very active Lehkonen, which I thought was very good tonight.
Drury too. Drury finally popped
Drury
the
was
way that I
getting
wanted
going
him
a little
to.
bit too. The offense is really moving a lot. But what frustrated me the most was the lack of urgency in the defensive zone because they had just as many good looks as we did. And to Ottinger's credit, Ottinger was making those saves with one on nothing breaks, and Blackwood wasn't. And that's why they ended up with those goals that they did to get that lead to 4-3. Like I said, that's what happens when you play one of the best goalies in the league. And you know that he's going to stand on his head and getting. I understand it's 4 goals because it's not 7; it's 4 goals on him, and it's 3 goals or 3 empty netters after that. But like, you still have to have this offensive output. Like 45 shots to 24 at one point. I don't know what the final tally was, but 45 to 24 at one point. That's what you need, right? Just fucking fire.
Finished 48 to 26. They also had 45 hits to Dallas's 19 tonight.
But like that second period frustrated the shit out of me because you were doubling their shots at one point. It was 18-9, but you let in 4 goals in that second period.
Yep.
And I was watching the up and down pace, and it was just a lack of Lindgren, and I'll put Manson on Blaster. Kale wasn't very good at it either. Taves looks like he's injured, so that might be something to keep an eye on if we move past this. But it was just a lack of just matching up defensively and letting guys walk straight down the ice. Obviously, it's a lot different in playoff hockey, and obviously hockey on skates, it's a lot harder to change directions a lot faster. But
both teams have really good players. Like
the
line's coming back is Johnston, Hintz, and Rantanen.
And exactly, and they back that up with Ben Sagan and Duchesne. Like it's great lines. Like it's not denying that, but at the same time, like I teach my lacrosse guys, and I think it's a very similar way of thinking. If a guy comes down the middle of the ice, his ass is on the ground. If he wants to walk scot-free down the middle and get a shot open, he will be on his back if he gets a shot off. And I would love to see a little bit more physicalness from our close defensemen with these guys crashing down the ice, especially up the middle.
We saw more of that aggression and going after in the empty net situations, and it led to points, and it led to, those goals never happen. Like, you never see the one that Kale got or Manson got was between 2 defensemen sticks from 75 feet away. So like, those don't just happen. I'm not going to sit here and say you're always going to do that, but it was constant, like getting in the face of the guys at the blue line. When you let them walk the blue line and cycle, they're the same team. You're looking in a mirror, very similar makeups. So if you let them cycle and stay in the offensive zone, it's not going to go well.
The only difference in the last couple of games, and frankly this whole series up until today, was that the Stars' top guys were going, and our top guys outside McKinnon weren't going. Obviously, Val, we saw how effective Val is, right? Obviously, we've missed him the last 2 playoffs for a reason, and had those early exits because he had those off the ice issues. But like our top 9 guys, when they're firing, when they're flying around, and Bedsy I love Bedsy's game plans because you could tell there's an ownership to get up and down. There's an ownership to fresh legs. You saw a lot out of Parker Kelly today, which we didn't see a whole lot first 5 games. Saw the first 5 games, First 5 games. Saw a lot of Drury obviously tonight. He's telling the guys, you're out there, we're getting everybody in, and it's not necessarily everybody getting for a pity party. It's everyone go in because I need fresh legs in the third period to put up 4 goals. Like you did, right? Like you did.
And clearly, this team struggles in the third period if it's not handled correctly, because the third period has been the Achilles heel. We've led for 120 minutes of this series, yet are staring at a 3-3 series tie in a Game 7. It's just the way that things go sometimes. In Game 7, here's where the numbers come into play. Pete DeBoer is we talk about kryptonites, we talk about curses a lot. This is the curse. Pete DeBoer, when he's the coach, Game 7s, whether it's San Jose, whether it's Las Vegas, whether it's Dallas, he's 8-0 in Game 7s, and he's eliminated the Colorado Avalanche, I think, 6 out of those 8 Game 7 games.
He's very good. He's very, very good. It's especially on home ice, it's going to be very, very difficult.
And they've responded every single time we've beaten the shit out of them too.
Absolutely, every single time they've come back. When I look at this Game 7, like I'm looking. I think this is going to be a 2-1 hockey game. I think it's going to be a ugly, ugly game where we need Blackwood to not let up more than 1 goal. And I think if Blackwood stands on his head and defensively we can hold them to 1 goal, we move on. I think that's the difference maker right there. Because I know this team hasn't played a game where they've scored less than 3 goals outside of the Game 5 debacle. So if this team can – if Blackwood can stand on his head in his first ever Game 7, by the way, his first ever Game 7, his first ever playoff – did he ever make the playoffs in New Jersey? I don't know if
I think they made the playoffs, but they never made it past the first round.
Yeah,
they never made it to a Game 7 in those first rounds.
So first big massive Game 7 playoff game for Blackwood. Let's see what this goaltender's made of, right? Brought you in for a reason, traded for you for a reason.
And I have you here for a long time for a reason.
Have you here for a long time. Let's prove us right. Here, let's prove us right here. Go toe-to-toe with one of the best goaltenders in hockey and Ottinger on the other end, and let your offense do the rest.
Yeah. I would love to see a response from Blackwood because the goaltenders that we've had around, I mean, we know we've
outside Denver, it's been horrible.
We've beaten Forgiev to death. I'm thinking back to the conversations we used to have about Grubauer. Like, this is a crossroads where Mackenzie Blackwood can take a path down his own way and maybe move a little bit further up that ladder of legacy of Colorado Avalanche goaltenders, or you can be Philip Grubauer and constantly get us to the dance. We look really good in the regular season, but in these big playoff moments, I mean, that was the big issue in Game 5. He wasn't ready to go off puck drop. You don't let in a goal that yes, it's a terrible angle shot. It never happens. Wyatt Johnston plans that. He's done that multiple times. If you watch his tape, he's crashing the corner and he's throwing it at the net in the first 10 seconds of the game because he's either going to get a tip from one of his guys or it's going to bounce off you and go in. You have to be ready to go. Everybody has to be ready to go. And I think they mentioned it on the broadcast tonight for TNT. They had their players-only meeting, and they have an X factor in those players-only meetings now because Landeskog gets to close those out. Boys, couldn't play hockey for 3 years. Could not. There is no I could have tried. I could not even try to play hockey for 3 years. Just enjoy it. Just go out there and have fun. Don't play with your assholes puckered so tight that we're going to give up 7 goals to a team that we know we can beat. Yes, they are good. Yes, they can beat us. We know we can beat them too. You have to walk through good teams. You have to beat really good coaches. You have to break curses to do these great things that you want to do. There's no way around it.
I mean, you're hitting on all the right notes. And another thing is, like, the Avs are the underdogs. Dallas are the betting favorites right now to win the Cup.
Yeah.
Not Florida, not Winnipeg, not Maple Leafs, not Edmonton, not any of them. Dallas Stars, who are facing a Game 7, are the odds-on favorites to win the Stanley Cup. You are the underdog. You are going on the road. Frankly, if anyone's cheek should be puckered up, it should be the Dallas Stars because they haven't won one. They made this massive trade in the during the season for Rantanen, signed him to this long contract, right? You trade for Rantanen to make that deal and sign him to those long years to have deep playoff runs. And what better way to knock off a obviously former teammate and former line mate and a division rival in the Dallas Stars than derailing that hype train, right? Because like I said, a loss here for the Dallas Stars is another year older for Tyler Seguin. It's another year older for Jamie Benn. It's another year older for Matt Duchene, right? It's another year older for a lot of these older heads that Dallas has.
Yeah.
They've
already lost Pavelski on this run.
Lost Pavelski, and now I didn't get him one, right? So they're nearing a situation where their top 9 are very, very good. Johnson, Rupe Hintz, Mikko, obviously.
Even
Granlund's obviously Robo when he's healthy is very good. Their top 9 is still very, very good.
Yeah.
But at some point, I'm not saying you fired DeBoer, but you have to bring up the conversation because this team has not produced and not made it to the Cup after all these moves. Right? And same can go the opposite direction for the Avs.
I was going to say, it's strange, this series
where go the other way.
Both teams have had a ton of playoff success very recently, yet both of these coaches, if they lose, their seat gets extremely hotter.
And I will say, Bedsy probably has a little bit more of a leeway because he has won a Cup. DeBoer has not. So I do think that matter, but it should be a very, very entertaining Game 7.
I'm excited for it. I'm not going to be able to breathe throughout the entirety of it.
I'm not going to be able to breathe the entire. Sorry.
Yeah, Saturday's gonna be a tough one. I'm glad that I
Please,
don't have school that day or the day after
for the
because
love of
I
God,
wouldn't
please do
focus.
not put them on at the same time. I do not want to be watching the Avs game from my phone while I'm at the Nuggets game. Please don't do that.
It wouldn't be
Please be
nice.
smarter, NHL and NBA. Like you only, how many game sevens do we got? Because we only have the one game seven in the NBA, obviously, unless Houston wins tomorrow night. I don't know how many game sevens we have left in hockey possibilities, but there's not many.
Possibly one with Winnipeg and St. Louis.
But
Winnipeg
they
has
play
a 3-2
tomorrow,
lead.
right?
Yeah, they
So
play tomorrow,
they wouldn't
and
play
St. Louis has
Saturday.
to win. No, they would not play Saturday. They would
So
play the
there
day
will
after.
only be two game sevens on Saturday. For the love of God, do not put them at the same time. Not just because of our fan base, because of Denver, but like you should. If TNT was smart, actually, I think ESPN has, or no, maybe TNT has has the Western Conference. If TNT was smart, they would put them on one after another. Because Nuggets fans and Avs fans could just go one into the other and one heartbreak after another, and it'd be a great segue, right? TNT, Shaq Hyman over there can go from the NBA TNT set to walking over and messing around with Biz, and then going into the hockey game, and you do not lose viewership. Like, oh wait, there's a Game 7 hockey too. Like even people that are just tuning into Game 7 for hockey or basketball, you can be like, oh, let's check out the basketball game too. Let's check out the hockey game too. So they're smart. They put it on two different times. Please, 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 please.
NHL playoffs everywhere else are pretty set besides the one quadrant. Like I mentioned, the Blues and Jets. Winnipeg has a 3-2 series lead. St. Louis could force a game 7 if they win tomorrow night. And then the Avs and Stars, whoever wins game 7 Saturday, will get the winner of that other series. But Vegas and Edmonton punch their tickets. LA, for the 5th year in a row, gets bounced by Edmonton. And
Lost
Minnesota.
4 straight. Lost 4 straight. The Kings lost 4 straight. Remember we talked about last week's episode how good the Kings looked after 2-0?
Yeah.
4 straight.
Hey, we've been there too. That's the shittiest way to go when you win both games opening up at home, and then you never win again. And
go on the road and you just can't recover.
Thank God for it's a different series, but Minnesota, thank God they have the Timberwolves, because not only do they lose and their season's over, the end of one of the greater careers in between the pipes that we see, most likely. It has not been stated officially, but I don't think that he's signed another contract.
He didn't do all these swan songs at the end and all these hugging and kissing babies to stop. But yeah, Fleury did play at these last couple of games for the Wild. Obviously, he had his last game of the regular season where he won in overtime, and that was the moment for him. Obviously, it was cool seeing all the Golden Knights and all the fans in Minnesota give him the love because it was in Minnesota at least. And like I said, I don't know what the NHL Hall of Fame qualifications are in terms of how many years you got to wait. He's as close to a first ballot Hall of Famer goaltender as you'll ever see. So congrats to Fleury.
It was a great career and awesome moment to see him go through the handshake line one last time. Vegas moves on out of that series. What are you looking for out of that series? I guess it's a Pacific matchup, Edmonton and Vegas. I don't think they've played each other in the postseason. They both have postseason success, but it's come on opposite years. So in this matchup that we're getting, what are you expecting between the Knights and the Oilers?
Vegas is really, I don't watch a lot of Vegas hockey. I'll be honest with you. I've really caught a lot.
It makes me want to puke.
It really does. But getting production from the top guys and Aiden Hill, who had that obviously miracle run back 2 years ago now, it was when they won the cup. He's really stepped up in that Minnesota series and been the backbone. But getting production from Eichel, this team is super deep, right? Tomas Hertl, a guy that they made a deadline move for, has been very good. Brandon Saad on this roster as a depth third line.
That guy's still playing. Jesus.
Stoner's obviously still out there. Tomas Hertl, it said Hertl. William Karlsson, Wild Bill, the guy, one of the original Golden Knights, ugly heads out there from their inaugural season. Vegas has a lot of depth offensively. Their defense is where it gets interesting. They're a lot older. Obviously, Shea Theodore's older. Petrangelo's not very old, but older on that sense. Big question for me for Vegas in this series against Edmonton going forward is, can this defense that is a little older keep up with the pace of Edmonton up and down the ice? Because you saw that the Kings could not handle that once McDavid, Draisaitl got downhill. Once those two and Cannon on the wing and Perry on the wing and everyone going forward got downhill, it was very slow, tough to stop them. And this defense for Vegas that's a little bit older. Let's see what they're made of.
Yeah. Moving over to the Eastern Conference side, Maple Leafs and Panthers. The Florida Panthers have totally flipped that Battle of Florida series on its head. They gentlemen sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning out of the playoffs 4-1, and now they get Toronto, who did not have to go to Game 7. They won their series in 6.
That is possible, Toronto.
It is possible. And they won it on away ice. They won it in Ottawa.
Away, quote unquote away. If you were watching that game, majority of Ottawa's building was blue still away.
It was a lot. It was a big split. And also Biz was in his ambassador jacket, his Maple Leafs tie, his Toronto Maple Leafs hat. I believe he had an Argonauts pair of underwear on as well, because the CFL draft just happened as well as the NFL draft. Toronto and Florida, is there any chance? Is this the year that the Maple Leafs remember that there's more than one round of the playoffs?
If Toronto can get past Florida, I don't see why they can't make the Cup final. I'll be honest with you. No offense to the Caniacs over there in Carolina. Toronto has a little bit more firepower offensively than they do. Nylander has been incredible. He's been incredible for them all postseason long. They've been getting production from Matthews. Marner has been a little bit quiet, but still been very, very good. They've had production from Stolars, which I would have never guessed that Stolars would have stepped between the pipes and been consistent for them. It's Stolars, right? He's the guy.
Yeah.
Stolars
is the goaltender.
He's been very, very good for them too. Morgan Riley has been awesome defensively too. The problem with Florida, as opposed to Toronto, that Toronto is facing is the championship pedigree over there in Florida, as opposed to in Toronto, is like putting a general in a war as opposed to a 2-year-old. Like that's as good of a sequence as I can innuendo as I can put out there, right? Florida has Marchand, Kachuk, right? Bunch of dogs, Bennett,
Bobrovsky,
right? Playoff experience all
who's
across.
their defenseman?
Barkov, Sasha
Barkov.
Like they have so much depth, and Toronto has not made it past the second round. They just got past the first round for the second time in the last 30 years. I don't know. I like Florida's depth, especially when they added Marchand to that third line. I was like, damn, that makes Florida so deadly, because that playoff experience. I mean, a lot of people had Tampa Bay win the series, right? Mm-hmm. Kucherov was very, very good all regular season. Vasilevsky was very, very good. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay realized that we're no longer in a pandemic, and they can't be as a Stanley Cup winning hockey team when there's a national pandemic coming on. Cough, cough, 2020, cough, cough, 2021. That's all I'm going to say. But I have all the faith in the world in Florida here. I wouldn't mind seeing Toronto go on a little bit of a run and seeing what this last run of Marner looks like, because Marner's going to get paid somewhere. Marner's going to go paid somewhere. This is the last little hurrah with Nylander, Marner, and Matthews you have. So, can they do it? History tells us no, but
1967 says no.
We'll see.
The other side, Capitals and Canes both have gentlemen sweeps in their matchups. Capitals beat the Canadiens. The Hurricanes take out a very depleted New Jersey Devils squad. 1-2 matchup on that side. What are you thinking about in this Capitals and Hurricanes series? Is it going to be home ice rules all, because that's the way most Canes series go, or is it going to be a little bit different?
I mean, look, I understand Washington has the home ice advantage. I think the Canes have the edge here. I think that the scoring they're getting from Aho, Stankoven, and getting the defensive play of Anderson in the pipes for them has been very, very good for Carolina, and really, really helped them a lot. I think this is where the star power of Washington, outside of Ovechkin, obviously, comes to bite them in the ass. I do think the Caps are a damn good hockey team, and they're playing obviously very, very well right now. But I look at what Carolina has and Carolina's playoff experience they've had the last 5 years, right? The last 5 years of long playoff runs where they just consistently win at home. If Carolina can Carolina's one goal is to go into Washington and win one game, because they have confidence when they walk at home they can beat anybody at home, right? So it's, boy, if I'm a Caps fan, I'm a little bit worried about this series.
I think the Caps, it's just not the same feel as I had in the 2018 run. They have Ovi, they have Wilson, but outside of that, I just don't have much faith in what they have, and I don't trust Logan Thompson as much as everybody else likes to, and he's had some injury battles already in this postseason. The Hurricanes are a very damn good team up until they get into the Eastern Conference Finals, and even then, most of the time, they still win almost all of their home games. If they get to, it would be cool for them to get to a Stanley Cup final again. I know that they've been there before, but most of the hockey fan base, especially now with the new markets like Seattle and Vegas, don't realize how much of a home ice advantage that would be in the Stanley Cup final. Like, we would see absolute bedlam in Raleigh every single time that the Canes played at home if they make it to the Stanley Cup final. So I think it would be cool for the NHL to see that fan base. And yes, the Capitals fan base is pretty fanatical. It's nothing like the Caniacs. The Caniacs are another breed.
Caniacs are different. Caniacs are absolutely different.
All right. I think that's probably good to go for now. Our East Coast listeners are almost at 2 a.m, and I still have to edit this and get it all uploaded. So we did a lot of playoff talk. We were able to talk about
a couple updates. So Nuggs play 5:30. I'm seeing it right now on Twitter. Nuggs play 5:30 on Saturday. 5:30 start means that the hockey game could be second. Yeah. I'm hoping. So either it's going to be a long ass night.
6 p.m.
Oh, fuck me. The Avs at 6?
Avs at 6. That's what it's showing on ESPN right now.
Are you shitting me? Oh,
yep. And it's ESPN again. And I think we've gotten our asses handed to us when we've had games on ESPN. So it's just working out so well. Oh, and you remember how we said that Dallas was the favorite? Yeah, we're favored -140 right now.
Oh, no, I don't like that. I would take are the Nugs favored? How's that looking too?
I'll check real quick.
We might have a slight 2.5 because we're the home team.
Saturday. No, Clippers -1.5.
6 p.m. Are you fucking kidding me? And 5:30 for the Nugs.
5:30 and
Why?
6 p.m.
Why? Oh,
because hockey fans don't watch basketball, and vice versa. Of course. I know it's the perfect opportunity to try, but why would we try?
Why?
What started off as a really good episode, the energy has come back down.
I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I will literally. I'm glad.
I'm starting not to think Adam Silver is that great of a commissioner anymore.
It's not. I'm not giving Adam Silver any. It's still Bettman over there. Bettman doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. God, oh my God. I'm not gonna be able to sleep Saturday. My girlfriend wanted to have a nice date on Saturday night, and now that shit's out the window. I'm so sorry. Things are great, but same time. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need a month-long break from sports if we lose both games on the same time.
It would be terrible.
I think that may be the worst. That literally may be. I'm going to think positively here because PVO. You said it to me today. PVO. Things are going to go well. Obviously, we got the one we needed to today, not the other one. But beggars can't be choosers. But you want to talk about a crash out? Even if we go 1-1, I'm still going to be somber.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good night.
It's like,
it would be almost as bad as that year where, remember when we were going on that run and then 8 games in a row, Avs lose, Nuggs lose, Avs lose, Nuggs lose, Avs lose, Nuggs lose, Avs lose, Nuggs lose. Season's over. Season's over. Great.
We were so hot, and then we lost 8 straight, and it's like, oh, this is so bad. I think this will be worse. I literally think it'll be worse.
I'm going to reread my 7 spiritual laws of success. I need everybody. I told my classes, I was like, you guys want me to be in a good mood? You want me to not assign any work? Bring all your positive energy, put it to the Avalanche. Because if the Avalanche win, I'm happy. I need everybody. If you're watching this now, all of the people, everybody that was in the chat, Terrell, Darren, I know you might not care much about hockey. I need your positive vibes for the Avalanche, and you I need the positive vibes for the Nuggets because my mental state is also going to be hard. It's going to be hard for them to say Nuggets outright, but you love us, right? You love us. Everybody loves us.
I will say this is the heartbreak of last year's playoffs. I think we may have a little bit of juice to help us because we lost Game 6 on home ice last year against the Stars with the Duchesne game winner, And 3 days later, we lost 20-point lead to Minnesota game 7 and lost. So that was within 3 days of each other, just horrifying departures from the playoffs where we were doing live shows for a week. And we're like, well, those are over, right? I want to do live shows for a little bit longer. I don't want to sleep we sleep in June here, okay? / July.
It would be awesome to continue to have playoff sports to watch all the way through the wedding season. I got a wedding coming up. I know that I've said I'm tired, but I'm ready to go to school on 5 hours of sleep tomorrow because the Avalanche won, and I know the Nuggets can get one back, but this is the scheduling gods are not in our favor. If the scheduling gods aren't, hopefully the sports gods will be in our favor, and I think it could work out. Hopefully.
I seriously, because look, the NBA and NHL have to work together when it comes to playoff scheduling. They literally have to, because there's teams in the same building. That's literally something they have. Like when the Avs and the Nuggs are in the playoffs together, they literally have to schedule their games around each other. They physically cannot do that. They had to do it for the for the Lakers and the Kings. Obviously, sorry, the Fakers and the Kings. Both teams are out now, so it doesn't matter. They had to schedule around each other. You're telling me 2 games on Saturday, 30-minute start time apart? I just want answers. I just want a logical answer. That's all I want. Like, is there something else on Saturday that TNT is? No, the Kentucky Derby is at fucking noon or 1 in the afternoon, and it goes on for 5 minutes, and it's over.
That's true.
Okay? It's not like a 5-hour event. You can catch the 5-minute race and be done. You don't have to watch everything else. I need to know. Seriously.
I have nothing else. That was the only thing I could come up with. I guess we should catch up on our sleep now. And
look, I will probably be at game 7 on Saturday. So it'll be a later stream again after I come home. But boy, in the span of 3 hours, our postseason hopes can either die entirely or we're back. 3 hours.
Dangling the carrot. You want it? You want some playoff success? You want some playoff success? Okay. Hey, here's our thing for game 7s. Can't have any fear.
I have lots of fear.
No fear.
I have lots of this right now. I have lots of this.
No,
not a lot of this. I have lots of this.
No fear, like Penta saying pendejo live on international television.
Yeah, that was
twice.
That was quite something. Yeah.
All right. Let's let everybody get out of here. Get to bed. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I will say this. You suckers that come here for football stuff, you will have to wait. Okay? I'm sorry. We got 2 game 7s here in Denver. If you want a show to talk about fucking NFL and Jahdae Barron and whoever the fuck the Bengals picked in the first round, Shamar Stewart, go to another VSN show, because the next month and a half, hopefully not 3 days, month and a half is filled with playoff content. So you guys can go there elsewhere, and we'll talk about that when we're not 5 months away from preseason games starting.
It's a beautiful thing when you have spring sports that can take up a lot of your time. Make sure you follow at FEOTB Pod, subscribe to the YouTube channel, continue to tell friends about us, and keep tuning in.
And
we'll be back.
Pray for our mental status on Saturday.
Everybody, positive vibes. Bring the positive vibes all the way through Saturday. All the way through Saturday. We will see you guys after both game 7 Saturday night. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Nico Bryant. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.